Hello everybody and welcome to our generic talk show. Here today, Interview One and I are very grateful to have Mr. Louis Pasteur with us today.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Louis Pasteur.
Do you speak English?
Yes.
So, Mr. Pasteur, where and when were you born?
Well, I was born in Dole, France, and I was born in December 27, 1822.
And what is your profession again?
I am a chemist, physician, and microbiologist, and I did all my research in France.
Well, that sounds boring. We want the juicy stuff. So what have you learned in the field of microbiology?
Yeah, because from what I've heard, you would have probably disproved the previous theory of spontaneous generation. But what is spontaneous generation? What do you mean by properly disproved?
Well, spontaneous generation is the idea of the life force going into non-living objects and creating life. And I properly disproved that theory because of the previous experiment done by Francesco Redi doesn't have proper controlled variables.
So what is a controlled variable?
Well, a controlled variable is a variable in an experiment that has to stay constant in every test subject. And in my own experiment, I made my own flask that has an S-shaped neck that allows life force to pass through, but not microorganism. But at a certain tilt, it does.
So, Mr. Pasteur, what is your experiment about?
So in each flask, I put chicken broth in it, and I put those flasks in the same place with the same light exposure and same temperature. But with the first flask, I broke off the S-bend. The second flask, I kept the S-bend on, but I have it standing straight up so the life force can pass through. And in the third flask, there is an S-bend, but it is tilted to let the microorganism through as well.
So what about your discovery in germ theory? What is that?
The idea of germ theory is made by fellow scientists that believe that microorganisms are the cause of many diseases. I just elaborated on that theory by doing various experiments.
I heard you discovered this through a brewery and alcohol.
I discovered tiny microbes in alcohol that are responsible in turning sweet wine to sour wine. I discovered a process that kills these microbes called pasteurization. It's where I heat up the alcohol and let them cool afterwards, killing off the microbes.
Anything else you'd like to say to the crowds out there, Mr. Pasteur?
Well, I discovered a vaccine for rabies, anthrax, chicken cholera, and...
Alright, I think we ran out of time. Thank you, Mr. Pasteur,
Wait,
for coming.
what?
Sorry, Mr. Pasteur. Anyways, thanks guys for joining us today. Generic Talk TV Show.
Bye.